Man, this was a disappointment of an episode of Friday Night SmackDown, which isn't saying much because this show is almost always a disappointment, but nowadays it's even more of a disappointment just because of how bad this show was for a number of reasons. Primarily, there was no Brock Lesnar. There's nothing I hate more than shows that don't have any follow-up from what happened in the past. Now, with that being said, let's get to it, and let's go do it segment by segment. So, with that being said, take a moment if you haven't yet. Subscribe to your boy today, because it's hot out here, you know what I'm saying? We're so close to 10K, you could be that difference. One of you is going to be the 10,000th subscriber. That means 10,000 motherfuckers, at least, have hit subscribe on the Haters channel, which is a massive honor. So please do it for your boy, and let's get to it, and let's do it, like I said, segment by segment. Well, the show opens up, as one would expect, with Big Match John himself, right? Now, personally, this is a good way to open the show, in my opinion. However, John Cena comes out and basically pretends that he was never a heel. This turns out to be quite the pattern that we're going to keep seeing throughout the day. So basically, Cena comes out, the last real champ is here, he's massively over. He cuts a pro-Montreal promo and basically says, "I love you, Nation. I'm back, Jack." You know what I'm saying? And the fans start chanting, "Thank you, Cena." Cena says, "I don't mind when you sing." And then they start singing like idiots, right? Basically, he says nothing at all, right? He's just there, and he's like, "I'm back, Nation. Thank you, Montreal." And that's it. He doesn't address the fact that he got his ass beat. He doesn't address what's next. He just says, "I got 11 more days," right? 11 more appearances, meaning, not actual calendar days, but days that we're going to see him, right? This is complete nonsense. Eventually, he says that he's afraid of letting the fans down, which is fucking retarded because his entire heel run was literally the opposite of that. It wasn't kind of the opposite. It was 100% the opposite sentiment. His heel turn effectively was, "Hey guys, I don't give a fuck about the fans. You've abused me long enough, now I'm doing it on my own." But now, all of a sudden, because Cody beat him up, he's like, "I'm afraid of losing the fans to Nation." Yeah? And then, he's afraid of being forgotten. Which, again, I don't know why they doubled down on this, because this is a really stupid thing to say, right? It's John Cena. No one's going to forget John Cena. After this, Cena is ready to leave, right? He mentions Brock Lesnar briefly, being like, everyone's got a John Cena problem now, Jack. He's ready to go. He's ready to beat up everybody, including Brock Lesnar, but of course he's afraid of Brock Lesnar. This is literally every Cena-Brock Lesnar promo, right? Except for, ironically, the earlier Cena stuff, when he was an undercard nobody who should have been insecure, but he was overconfident. Remember that? Remember that Cena where he was like, "You hurt my neck, Brock. I'm coming for you." This would be literally the equivalent of Funaki coming after The Undertaker because The Undertaker beat him up. Remember when Undertaker beat up Maven at the Royal Rumble? That was it. He beat the shit out of Maven, and Maven was like, "Oh, okay." He withdrew in the back. Maven wasn't out there starting a serious feud with The Undertaker. The understanding was Maven had his moment by eliminating Undertaker in a Royal Rumble match, and then The Undertaker beat the shit out of him, right? And that was it. Maven took the beating and understood, I cannot beat this guy back. I'm Maven. He's The Undertaker, player. But now, John Cena, back in the day, he comes to Brock Lesnar. He's like, "I don't give a fuck that I'm a lower card guy. I'm coming after you, Brock. You hurt me. You put me on the shelf." And he was out there rapping. He had the pinwheel hat. It was fucking awesome, But this Cena, who's a 17-time champion, this guy is like, "Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared, it's a nation. But I'm going to do it for you. I'm doing it for the children." So anyways, that goes down like that. And then Logan Paul comes out. Logan Paul is justifiably confused. He's like, "What the hell is this? I don't even recognize you anymore." Because 3 weeks ago, they were partners. And all of a sudden now, John Cena is a good guy, and he says, "Logan, you're annoying," right? He's basically back to being face Cena. Face Cena that says the same things to everybody. He just says "You ain't shit, I'm John Cena," right? As they're having the conversation, Logan effectively challenges Cena to a match. And he says it's going to be in a French-speaking country. We're in Montreal tonight, but all of Montreal realizes he's talking about France, right? And more important, it doesn't matter because they know it's not going to happen tonight. So he says it's going to be in France, right? It's going to have the Champs-Élysées going crazy. So whatever, Cena says, "I accept, Jack." And then eventually Drew McIntyre comes and beats Cena's ass. Because now Drew and fucking, Logan are like buddies. This is going beyond the Jelly Roll situation, right? But of course, the cuckster himself comes in, makes the save, and Cena says, I have a partner now, Cenation. And tonight, it's going to be us four in a tag match. Automatically, you know either the match is not happening, because Brock Lesnar's going to ruin it, or it's going to be like some DQ bullshit, right? So I'm not excited about this at all. After this, which takes about 35,000 years, we get the second segment. It's going to be a tag match. It's Motor City Machine Cucks versus the MFCs, which of course stand for My Family Cucks, because they're all cuckolds, right? It's going to be the fat one and the tall one, JC Fateo and Tala Tonga against Motor City Machine Guns. The match is fine. There's nothing wrong with this match. 3 of the 4 men, right? JC Mateo or JC Fateo, or the fat one as I call him, and the Motor City Machine Guns are either passable or higher in the ring, right? Tala Tonga is also passable, I would say. Maybe a little bit less than passable, but it doesn't matter because he's a big guy who does a big boot and a chokeslam. That's his thing. And quite frankly, it's not just his thing. It was the thing of this match. The entire point of the match was to tell us, look how tough Tala Tonga is. And to show this, he kicks one of the machine guns off of the top rope, then he chokeslams the other one and pins him 1, 2, 3. That's it. After the match, Solo gets the mic and starts cutting promos. I don't know if everybody's ever seen the sitcom Baby Daddy, which stars some guy who I forget, but it also has Taj Mowry. Remember Taj Mowry? He was like the fucking the little kid. Like, I forget what the sitcom was back in the day. And like now he's a grown up now. And basically, go watch it, because Solo Sikoa imitates the facial expressions of Taj Mowry and the other guy. Like, he says something that's funny, he looks to the side and like giggles and goes, he does that. Like, in the sitcom, like those two guys are portrayed as like being immature and silly, so it's like it makes sense. But Solo Sikoa is like a tough guy who looks to the side funny and goes, he's the kind of man who goes, So, quite frankly, when I see this, I'm like, how do they even try to portray this guy as the champion of the street? Like, I bet you the Anoa'i family, the annoying family, aside from Roman Reigns, are probably like the laughing stock of Samoa. Like, all the Samoans are like, man, these fucking assholes are embarrassing us. They got like some fat motherfucks, and one of them had to pretend he's Japanese. The other 19 have to pretend they're savages, and now we got Solo Sikoa who goes like a fucking little bitch. He is the least believable tough guy of all time. It's close between him and Jacob Fat Poo, but it's probably Solo Sikoa. Nick Aldis comes out and says there's going to be a match. There's a guy here who loves Montreal. It's Sami Zayn, Cogs. The match happens, and there was a point when they were Roman's lackeys where Sami Zayn was considered to be this like soon-to-breakout star, and Solo Sikoa was considered to be like the heavy and the next guy for Roman Reigns. Right? Even after Roman Reigns left and he took control of the bloodline, he was not the same Solo as now. Now he's like a little shit who goes, he makes these little cackly faces, Anyways, the match starts. It's a boring ass, fucking Sami Zayn match. It ends with an attempt at a haluva kick, and then Solo goes for the fucking spike. Sami dodges it, rolls him up, and wins. He did that Sami Zayn surprised win. You know when Sami Zayn pins somebody and he's shocked that he won the match? He did that too. Like, I hate that shit. Sami Zayn comes out and he like pins somebody and he's always like, wow, I can't believe I won. You know what I mean? Like, have some confidence in yourself, That's why every couple of years, Sami Zayn finds himself in a storyline where it's like he has no confidence. He's always surprised that he wins. It's fucking stupid. But anyways, after this, we move on with our lives from this third segment, which really was the second segment, because this one and the MFT's match was like one thing. But that's good. I actually like that because we don't have to go through the entrances again, right? It's 2 segments, boom, boom, the fans get it, and everybody moves on. Then the Profits and DIY are arguing again for no reason. They're arguing every fucking week. It's fucking annoying. The whole point here is to show that Profits are faces, DIY are heels. They're going to stop arguing, apparently, because next week they're going to be in a match. All right? Nick Aldis said so, cuckolds. After this, we go to the ring, and Charlotte and Alexa, who had a mini promo before, she's like, I'm going to give you something in the ring because it's Alexa's birthday or something. They have like a friendship Mankind Rock type of thing, except nobody cares, right? It's fucking crickets, motherfucks. Eventually, Charlotte opens a present and gives Alexa a new, doll, a Lily doll, right? But now she's wearing a shirt that says, we're not friends. Then Charlotte made a Charlie doll, right? It's the Charlotte version of the doll. Who is the retard that wrote this? You know what I'm saying? Who is the fucking moron that put pen to paper and came up with this segment? Then, mercifully, Chelsea Green interrupts. Chelsea Green says, even though she's Canadian, she wants to give away her passport because this crowd sucks. Then calls Montreal losers. Classic heel promo from someone that should get a positive reaction because they're in their hometown, right? She did a good job. I mean, it wasn't anything to write home about. It's not like she invented this promo, but she did a good job. This leads to Charlotte saying, you know what? I have one more present for you, Alexa. I'm going to beat up Chelsea Green. So this starts the match. The match is a comedy match, basically. In the beginning, it's like a normal match. Nothing crazy. Eventually, Chelsea gets a slight upper hand and orders the Secret Hervis to throw in the cake. There was a cake involved, right? They throw in the sheet cake, and Chelsea goes for the Unpretty Her on the cake. But Charlotte counters it into a shitty version of the Unpretty Her, and then does that on Chelsea, puts on the figure 8 leg lock, and that's gonna be that, right? Nothing really happens, beyond that. It's just a comedy match. It's just let's humiliate, what's it called? Let's humiliate Chelsea Green a little bit for the lulz. I mean, I get it. I ain't worried about it. It is what it is. That's Chelsea Green's job. That's her role in WWE. And this was not the segment with them being friends or not being friends, which is the whole thing, is stupid. But the match itself was perfectly acceptable, The match had the makings of a decent segment in and of itself because it started out with a very short promo, right, by Chelsea Green, where effectively, amongst other things, she explains why she hates them, right? Or why she's there. She's there to talk shit about Canada, and she doesn't like these motherfuckers. Then afterwards, we get a quick match. Nothing crazy. We get a nice little spot with the cake. It is what it is, there were worse segments than this. Like the opening segment, for example, right? After this, you see Jade and Tiffany talking, and basically Jade says, I'm going to beat you one day, and Tiffany says, no, you won't. I'm always going to win. Whatever. She leaves and says, she doesn't say toodles, but she says something else. She was like, that's how it is, or whatever, some bullshit, right? Then Kiana James and Julia appear, and Kiana James tries to woo Jade Cargill to be her client, right? Jade, refuses, saying she's going to do things her way. It's her way or the highway. And then Michin appears and takes the card, because Kiana James says, keep the card. Takes the card, she's like, man, I might hit her up for a U.S. title match. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what Michin says. Now, insofar as all this shit goes, right, the only thing that I was left wondering after this was, why didn't Jade Cargill go to NXT? It would have been so much better, knowing what we know now, it would have been so much better for Jade Cargill to go to NXT and then do everything she's done thus far in NXT, right? She could feud with JC Jane in NXT for all I care, right? Then she could come in when she's ready for the main roster, come in, win the Rumble, ideally entering as number 1, and then win the title at WrestleMania. If this is next year, then it's next year. But thus far, her main roster run has been so bad that the question becomes, why did they put her on the main roster to begin with? Why? To have her be a jobber in the main roster? Anyways, that's how that is, cucks. Afterwards, we get a vignette with Alistair Black, who is basically Rusev, and this is effectively a Rusev-level vignette, right? The parallels between these two guys are too many to ignore. Number 1, they're both Europeans, so shout out to Europe. Number 2, they're both boring as fuck. Number 3, they both got rehired back after being fired recently. Number 4, they have the same format, right? They cut a cryptic dumbass promo where they basically embarrass themselves. Then they have a match every 3 to 4 weeks, usually against the same guy multiple times. Alistair Black says, I'm going to beat up Damian Priest. He says a bunch of other shit. When people push you, you push back. But when they push me, I push them off the cliff. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares, a low-level jobber. Nobody gives a flying fuck. So that happens, and mercifully, it ends relatively quickly. Afterwards, we see Cena walking backstage to go towards this match. And who does he run into? None other than the Truth, motherfuckers. Our Truth. They mimic each other as if they're standing in front of a mirror. And Truth says, you're back. If you're back, I'm back. We're back, right? And basically, everything Truth did about being wrong killings is completely being forgotten, right? It's being retconned as Truth has always been retarded, right? And this, motherfucks, is exactly the reason why I said they should have never brought Truth back. I told all of you, once again, the hater is right. I told everybody that this is exactly what would happen. That they have one opportunity to push him, they didn't, now he's retarded. Then, to throw insult to what's happening, John Cena gaslights R-Truth into thinking that R-Truth did the bad thing Cena did. He's like, yeah, you made some kid in Belgium cry, and you know, like, you were being a little weird, you cut your hair, you know, like everything changed. You're being a heel basically, right? He tells R-Truth that R-Truth is retarded. And here's the beautiful part. This part I actually thought was great because it validates me. Otherwise, I don't give a shit. But it validates me because what happened was R-Truth, because he's retarded, this works, motherfucks. R-Truth is like, oh, he is retarded. R-Truth is like, remember Spike from Tom and Jerry? Like where Jerry and Tom are clearly smarter than Spike the dog. It's like that. They can trick him. He's stupid. R-Truth is retarded. So I think at this point, like, just to save some face, just to have some, whatever small level of dignity R-Truth has as a performer, and whatever shred of dignity is left in him as a man, he needs to step away from WWE. And I love R-Truth. This is unacceptable. You know what I mean? At this point, he did all that, right? It led to no push, and the way they're going to explain it is, oh, it's okay. All this happened for no reason because R-Truth is retarded. But we have like a fucking feud between Damian Priest and Alistair Black that is a direct consequence of R-Truth not being retarded. So anyways, that's how that goes down. Then the match starts, and I can't say the match was good or bad because as I predicted in the beginning of the show to myself, this was not a match, right? This was not a match. This was an exposition, right? Like, if you wanted to see Cena wrestle, you could say you saw Cena wrestle because he did a few moves. He even went for the 5-knuckle shuffle. But basically what happened here was Cena was going to go for the AA. Cucky takes out Drew McIntyre. Cena's about to go for the AA. And honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. When Cena went for the AA, I couldn't help but think, why? Cody kicked out of like 15 AAs. So why are you going for the AA? Like, why would Logan Paul go down to an AA? You know? It takes at least 10 to take out Cody. You know? So there you have it. But it doesn't matter. Because Logan Paul just low blows Cena right in the ball sack. And the question is, why the fuck wouldn't he? Why wouldn't Cody Rhodes? I mean, sorry. First of all, why is Cody Rhodes even there? But number one, as far as the low blow goes, why wouldn't Logan Paul do a low blow? He has nothing to lose, right? Logan Paul's not doing it for the money in kayfabe either, right? Because he's presented as like this spoiled rich guy. So it's like he can hit Cena on the balls to weaken him for the pay-per-view match, right? That's the idea. It doesn't matter who wins this irrelevant tag team match. Meanwhile, on the outside, Kofi Kingston. What am I saying, Kofi? I think it's because I was thinking of jobbers, and I thought Kofi immediately. Cody Rhodes, is out there getting his ass whooped by Drew McIntyre, right? This was the only thing of note that happened tonight, right? And it's not a good thing. But at the end of the day, we saw Cena and Cody, you could argue, wrestle on SmackDown, right? The match, I'm hard-pressed to consider it a match. You know, like, this is something that, like, will go down in the record books, like Cody Rhodes had a match on, August 8th, of 2025. And people be like, you see, he does wrestle on SmackDown, but it's like a 3-minute horseshit with, like, that ends in a DQ, right? Nobody got anything out of this. The only person that got something out of this were the fans, which I think is fine. They got to see Cody out there, right? And Cody now has a new enemy. His new enemy is Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre does like a Claymore. Cody's like kneeling, so it's like a low-level sliding type Claymore that he does. And he does it like against the announce table. And after kicking Cody's head, he also kicks the table itself. And the table breaks. And then people are like, oh my God! Like they act like he just fucking shot Cody with a gun in the head. You know? He just did a Claymore, motherfuckers. Relax. Even if he did it to the point where, like, Cody's head bounces off the table and it breaks the table, so what? That's actually better for you, right? If something breaks, it's called give, motherfuckers. You know how, like, weight breaks, there's absolutely no give? The table has give. It's better to do that than it is to be kicked in the head and have nowhere to, like, nothing to soften your blow. Because on a table, if something breaks, it's softening your blow, right? Like, it's worse to fall on something that doesn't break, right? Because that means that, like, the surface area of that thing that didn't break doesn't catch you at all. It just impacts you upwards. So anyways, I understand for a fact they have to do that, but I don't see why this Claymore is more devastating than any other Claymore, right? So for example, it's not more devastating than the Claymore that he did to Damian Priest, right? Now, Drew McIntyre is obviously going to finagle his way into like some sort of world title match against the Cuckster, right? So with that being said, it's like, you know, we have the Cuckster there, we've got Drew McIntyre there, and that's all there is to it. Like, Drew McIntyre is probably not going to have to earn the title at all, the title shot at all, right? He's going to be handed an opportunity. This would be fine if Drew McIntyre wasn't an abject jobber, lower card nobody. If the pay-per-view is Cookie Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre at Clash in Paris, I mean, first of all, it goes without saying that this is just a filler event, right? Because if Drew McIntyre is main eventing, it's a filler event. Remember when Drew McIntyre was wrestling Roman Reigns, and there was a small chance that he was going to beat Roman Reigns? Now there is a 0 chance that Drew McIntyre beats Cody Rhodes. It's literally 0. Like, I always leave like a 1% chance. It is 0%. Like, I would legit, if someone was like $10 or your life, I would bet my life that Cody Rhodes is going to win that match. Or he might lose, but he's not losing the title. And you never know what happens. Brock Lesnar comes, attacks Cody. Drew McIntyre wins by DQ, right? This is just a filler pay-per-view and a filler match. Now, I mean, obviously, jokes aside, there's always a chance. Cody could get hurt in the match, and they have to put it on Drew, you know, but it's pretty much like confined to those situations, right? It's a complete waste of time, and quite frankly, I know Cody needs a challenger, but Drew is like, he's not there anymore, right? It'd be better if it was Damian Priest and I love you too, bro, match, you know? Because at least Damian Priest beat Drew McIntyre, you know? Like, SmackDown has no challengers, you know? The only thing about SmackDown is that it has Cookie Rhodes, but if it weren't for Cookie Rhodes, and, you know, obviously John Cena, but Cena's like on his way out, you know? Like, it'd be over. So there you have it. I mean, Cena's going to have like, now he has what, 10 more appearances if this one counts as the 11th? It's going to be, you know, them, like, it's like them being like Logan and Cena at Clash in the Castle. He's going to have his last match, which is in like December, which is a long time from now. And from then till now, you're going to see him 9 more times in the next like 4 months, right? So like once every couple of weeks, you know, one of them might be a match, right? One of them is going to be Logan Paul. He's going to have obviously a Brock Lesnar match. That might be his last match. He might also have, I think he's going to have like one more match on Raw, probably one more match on SmackDown, just to like, he needs to have like, you know, they have to have like, oh, this is Cena's last Raw match, you know, oh, this is Cena's last SmackDown match, and so forth. So, you know, it's the time is pretty much now. I didn't know he only had 11 appearances left. Like, if I knew, then obviously it would be obvious that Cody's going to beat him. There would be only 2 possibilities. Cody beats him or he loses in his final match, right? Because he's going to have some bullshit matches too, you know? But anyways, that's been SmackDown. It wasn't very good. I'm disappointed in Cena's face turn. I'm disappointed in R-Truth. I'm disappointed in everything. And I'm quite frankly disappointed in the fact that we didn't get any Brock Lesnar. I would have loved for Cena to come out and say, Brock beat my ass, children. It's a nation. He beat me, Jack. And then Brock Lesnar comes out and says, Cena, I've had enough of you. I challenge you to a match at, and then after the at, it could be anywhere. It could be like at Clash in Paris. It could be at Penis in Your Anus, Rage in the Cage. And it doesn't matter where they have the match. Even if it's like in December. I challenge you to a match in December. Fine. Just set that up at least, cucks. So with that being said, take care of yourselves and go fuck your own mothers.